Good afternoon, folks. It's 4:34 p.m. Today is June 21st, after the holiday, Juneteenth holiday, and after the quadruple witching, right? So today was a special day, based on my last week running comments, right? So the last week running comments were, right? So which was Monday, talking about Monday till end of the day. But Monday was a holiday, so it is Tuesday end of the day, right? So the idea was the upward direction, if it happens last week, which is quadruple witching week, then it has to survive till Monday, and Monday was a holiday, so I would say till Tuesday, which is today, end of the day, it has to survive, and then we have to go from there, so that was the idea from running idea, and then today is the decision day for us to observe. See that I have a feeling, then I don't get a feeling very often though, okay, but when I do get the feeling, usually I would say I am 80% right, either right on the same day or the next day, but I am usually 80% right, but anyway, trading feeling doesn't matter, right? So we have to wait for a price to do something to prove it, right? But the flip side is, if we wait for a price to prove it, we may end up missing the trade, the exact good location, then later on we may get a location, but it will be little bit poor location, right? So I'm not saying based on the feeling you trade, right? But you have to keep that idea in mind, because I do get the feeling, right? And my feelings are based on observation and 20 years of experience, right? So that's why it takes more, I would say, preference, or somebody new to the day trading, that guy's feeling or that girl's feeling, but anyway, so so that was one feeling, right? So that's a point number one. Today is a decision day. Point number two. Point number three is watch Apple today, right? So in Discord I give you specific levels for Apple, right? And Apple kept up above those levels, so that's a point number three, favoring buyers, right? Point number four, in Discord I said, in my chart comments, right? So these are the important levels to trade. Short-term buyers are there above 80.75, right? So that's a step number four, right? The point four, favoring little bit seller when price open above this area, right, around this, and then aggressive buyers will defend 28 or 37.20, right? In pre-market it held this, of the open it held this, right? Point number six, right? All six are pointing to the buying side of the open. NQ, same damn thing, held this in pre-market, right? This is a very important area. If you see, if you read through my notes, running notes from last week, all the notes, you will see this area is highlighted a couple of times. Today I also talk about this, right? And then all these levels, right? 606 was our red line, 624, which pretty much held it today, and that was a backup sellers area too, right? And then staying above this, buyers are there. So that right of the open, what happened? Price bounced from where? Drain number. That was the low of the day today, 474. So that was the fifth or seventh hint, all these things were pointing to the buy side, right? Now another hints were this, Russell above this area, not this area, where is it, this area, some buyers, right? Then Dow was, I said, above 3200, buyers are there in Discord, okay? So that was also opening up above their area, right? And it basically stopped right somewhere here and then came down from there, right? So those are the hints, or I would say puzzles, that you have to put it together right of the open or even right before the open, and then you have to take your chances, I'm not saying you have to go long right of the open the way I did it, right? Because I can quickly plug in all those components, but you may be waiting, right? You may not be able to do the same thing the way I am doing it, right? Right of the open, plug it all of them together, right? So you wait for a pullback. In that case, the pullback happened around very good level, in NQ and ES, right? So let me talk about that now. So while these things, you already went through these things, right? Now you know the levels, now you know the rationale behind why long and all these things, because notes were there written way before open, right? So now let's go here. So here, there, now in addition to notes, there were chart comments here, right? These comments were there, when I published the notes. So the comments were here. Look at this. We talked about this blue line, yellow line, green line, blue line, dotted line. Technically, above all this line, buyers are there. So even though price pulls back here, doesn't mean anything. People still buy it, right? So at least going into the day that thing is going on. Ideally, I prefer dream numbers area, right? And look at these dotted lines are dream numbers, right? Even before open, you can see it bounce and then holding here, right? The two things that happen right of the open, then it's going to slice through the dream number, go here, or it's going to go higher from here, right? Also, this is a preferred sellers area from Friday. Now today it become preferred buyer area. So that's another point, number 10 or 8, whatever, right? And then right of the open, you can see ES moving higher. So obviously this guy may go higher, right? That's why there was a long right here, right? When it took out this high, and this high, you go long right there, at the market order, right? That's why I did, right? I shared that trade also in Mboxwave thread and in my own Discord thread, right? So, and then ES, same story, 37.28 preferred area. I want buyers to hold it, and 20, right? And you can read through this comment also. Super aggressive sellers area, now above some buyers, to take it upwards, all these things, into 54, 90s, etc., right? So it held it here, I would say at 28, then held it here also, right? So opening coming up again here. See, this is a VWAP, right? It didn't even respect the VWAP, right? On the way down, it sliced through it, but then it didn't respect as a resistance on the way up, right? Pretending it like it was not there. So you ignore it, remove it out of the picture, and then look for the levels. Held it, right? Took out this high, where all this thing down move started here. So you go long, both of them together. Internals were already super bullish, right? Of the open, it was a gap up situation. Apple was up, right? Everything was up. So you go long right there, and if not, then you have to wait for a price to go higher. Take out this area. There was a backup sellers area. Remember, we talked in Discord. This area may not respond, right? And there is no point selling it here. You rather sell it here and here, higher up, So once price took out this area like that with NQ, slight pullback, you go long with the flow at that point. NQ, you go long right here, 557 level. That was close to go back high, right? So once it is sliced through it, you wait for long here and target this area, and you are out for the day. Here you target this area, you are out. That is what I did. Actually, I did way early, right? Because I don't want to hold it till this area. So when price went higher up to here, right, I took a profit right here, when it was close to 600. So at the same time, in ES, I took the profit right here, both together, because what if NQ goes down from here, ES may follow it, right? So I just went out here, and it was good amount of point, and my trading was over, right? So when you go long later on, you can go long here. Then I went outside to pick up my son. I came back later, maybe around here somewhere, right? So, but anyway, you can trade this also if you want to, right? In ES, at least targeting this. This is a good area where I was talking with one of the member over the phone, for 2 hours I talked with him. He was a new joinee in our Discord group. So he had some of the questions. He said he is a newbie, so I spent time with him, over the phone for 2 hours. But anyway, so while I was talking with him, explaining him all these things, I kept my Discord on. So many other also heard me talking about all these things, and I was walking him through this price action, this entire price action, in NQ actually. That here it may fail, here it may go here, it may bounce from here, it can come down at 590. That is the key level, people will buy it. It may go higher about this. All this thing, while it was happening, before even it's happened, I talked to him that, hey, when price comes here, do this, do that, it may happen, but anyway, and at the end I said it's not tradable prices, right? So but anyway, so there was no trade here, technically, but only trade was from here to here. That was a good trade. All these things is a bonus. From here to here is a bonus, and then here to here it's a tradable short move, but you are better off not shorting it today. Okay, and this one is a garbage. See, after this point onwards you should not be trading after 12 o'clock, right? Before that you can take this short based on a higher time frame, not based on 5 minutes, but then you stop trading here, no more trading for the day. So that's pretty much it for ES. It's pretty much all lined up right of the open, and that's why there was a long here. Okay, there is nothing else that I can explain here more. It was all clear cut, and I had a closing expectation too around 70 in ES, and you can see it closed right around 70. That is what I typed in Discord. That three things can happen. When price was here, I said either it's gonna go through 82 again, actually, yeah, somewhere around here, and go higher, or from here it will go, actually it was at 76, I said, so 76 it will go through 82 and higher, or it will, if it does not hold 76, it will go to 70 and holds it, or third option would be it will close at 70. No matter what, it goes up or down, it will close at 70. So that third option came out true, closed right at 70, right, or 68, that's fine, or 69. So but anyway, so that's the story for here. Right now let's talk about Mboxwave. Right, so Mboxwave was also very good today, so hold on. So there were few trades, but you have to look at it different way, so now there was no visible long right of the open unless you take a risk, right, based on this X control or K control, right, based on this, right, volume or whatever histogram buying. But that happens every other day, right? This kind of buying. Does it mean there is a long setup? No, correct? So you need something else, right? So see here also same thing, but then price came down, right? And then I think the other day also the same thing. So only spike up like this doesn't mean you have to go long, right? But you have to find a ways to slice through the price every day, different ways, not like same old ways. You have to find a different ways, right? So today the way was like this, so this is what I did it today. See, since if I zoom in here, right, you can see these things. Hold on, like this. See, now you are looking at, forget this circle for now. Now you are looking at this price, up, down, down, up, right, up, and when it opened here, do you have a clue by looking at this bar that is going to go that high, going through all of these things? See that? So even though if you go long, right, you may puke out somewhere here or somewhere in between, but then looking at this up move and this down move and this back and forth, are you gonna go long? I mean, you may go long here, somewhere right about this area, which is 520 or so, right, which is this area, right? But then you will put your stop right here, which is almost 60 point away or 80 point, right? So that is the only trade you can get here, right, based on this, right? Or maybe here somewhere 515, but then you will worry about this, so you will put your long here, right? So the question is it justifiable reason only? So that's why in order to siphon these things, right, you have to plug in all the puzzles which I explained in my earlier talking during my regular video, right? So those are the points you have to keep in mind, right? And now, because remember, it's always you need a context in order, in addition to Mboxwave, right, you need some context to trade it. So you need to come up with some ways, right, the way Mike does it. So Mike does it different way, right? So he looked through all these pre-market activities and some support, some resistances, right, and then he makes a decision. So same thing, you have to do the same thing, right? So here what I shrink the chart, right, before even open, and then I watched it. So what I did was I said, you know what, there is a lot of garbage here, right, back and forth, there is a lot of garbage here, there's a lot of garbage here also, right? So I said, you know what, let me draw the circles here, right? So price, so I put a circle here, right? And then I was watching, assuming that this thing never happened after this point onwards. Let's say there is a line here. So this is a vertical line, right? Assume there is no price action after this, right? And now you are here. Let's assume, right? And now you see, okay, price went through all this garbage. That suggests that buyers are active, okay? Then what happened? Then again it started doing this garbage thing, right? So I made another circle here. And now let's see what happens next. And then again price damn thing sliced through it, right? Looks like it is garbage doing garbage, but it sliced through it. That means buyers are in more control, right? Now look at this here before open. Again garbage and then down move, right? Let's see what happens this time. Here down move, and now right of the open it was here, right? So look at every time when it goes to garbage like this, upward move, it goes through it, right? Here also look, down, little bit balance, slice through it, down, little bit balance, could be sliced through it, who knows, right? Now you see the opening, there you go, see that? At this point my long was right here, assuming it will slice through it. A simple pattern, see that? And look, it sliced through it. And then what happened? Every time it sliced through it, what it does? Garbage, right? So let's see. And now see the idea here? Same pattern, see that? So now you realize what I did just. I didn't look at any X control thing or anything, nothing pretty much, no Mboxwave tools, right? It's just a pure price. Now you can zoom in here and then you can make it tradable, right? Like this. Here. Right? Now let me zoom in here. See these things? 470 was my dream number, but anyway, you don't know aware of my levels, right? So right of the open you can see this balance, right? Price slice through it with X control, there is a volume, good amount, right? And then pull back and then again slice through it, right? And then another bar, right? So this was a sign it wants to go higher, right? Now if you know the story previously, then you know it's gonna go higher, right? That's why it was a long right there. And since I knew my context, right, and it was coming from 470, right, I know it's gonna go up, right? So now I'm plugging the dots, all these things. So it went higher, right? 600 to 626, those were my red lines area. Price may pause there, right? But anyway, I don't like to hold it for a longer. Quick profit is always good enough, right? ES I had a target at 58. So when I build out ES, I build out NQ also same time, 594, right? That was my exit here, right? So now look at the beauty of this thing. So now you draw a line at 594, right? Because that's where I took exit, right? And then look what happened later in the day. My exit line, right here, look at this, 1210, right? And then look at this, pretty much that area held it throughout the day. See, and where is the closing? Right at this line, almost. So what that tells you is, wherever I took exit, right, it was not a garbage level, it was a good level. That is what I'm trying to say. You can see the ES, same thing. Where is it? This 58 was my exit, and you can see this line 58 here, held it, right? And then price pretty much stayed above, correct? Now let's go here. Right, so now let's talk about the trades. I'm going to remove this circle, right? And now, so when price was going higher, right, here, higher, right? Look at this. That was your short setup right there into this area somewhere, right? But up to this point there was no algo, only one algo, right? Then you can see here one algo, multiple algos, pullback algo, your up thrust, right? Here, all this thing, right? You can see the delta also decreasing, and this damn thing was already down, there was no demand, there was no buying, there was no buying. So there was your short setup right here, and then you target this area pretty much right there. See, you bail out here, and then why bail out? Because there was no selling going on here pretty much, you know. And this was a good support. Look at this, it's a buying going on. Ideally I wouldn't prefer to even short here, right? But if you're following Mbox, if you want to short here, fine, you can short it, but you need to know your exit, right? And then since price was able to come down all the way here, your day is screwed up right after this point. You should not be trading it ideally. That is what I said in my Discord right here, and you can see it right here what happened. See, price is not going anywhere. It did not go anywhere actually. See, it's a waste of time trading in this area. So after 12 to 4, it's a waste of time. Why bother, right? Same thing, yes, pretty much. So this was a long, this was a short if you want to short, and that's it. Yes, look at yes, same damn thing. On the way up, look at this. So short here, right? And then what happened? Price came down, right? Here divergence, correct? Here also divergence at the new lows, right? Look at the deltas, go on pretty much, right? And then you see this offer. See, up to this point there was no offer, big dot. Here there was offer. Now you go long if you want to. It was my level 2, right? So then you go long, but your day is screwed because price was able to come down all the way down here. So, but yes, you had at least a dot, and ES tends to go back up to here, you know, at least this point somewhere, you know, so you can go long here if you want to. Otherwise forget it, no trading, right? Then if you're observing, NQ doesn't have any trade because ES moved back and forth. So ES has a trade actually here. See here, right here, you can see this delta shrinking, right? So demand is shrinking, correct? Here also buying is shrinking, here also buying is shrinking. See that? Then you see the pullback, then you see the offer. That's what's your short. Target back up to this area and you're done, you know? So that's pretty much it, you know, clear cut trades, couple of them actually. So that's how it is, you know, and that be all for today. I'll see you tomorrow.